SMPs. You've probably seen a million of them by now, but I want to start my own SMP, so what could I do to make it unique and fun for the players? If you don't know me, I'm a developer and I'm going to school for software engineering, so why don't I just make my own Minecraft mod for the SMP? And fair warning, I'm really bad at Minecraft modding. Even worse is I chose a version 1.21.10 and they changed a lot of stuff about the codebase recently, so almost all of the resources online were like completely and severely outdated. So I was stuck kind of just figuring things out as I went, because this is the first Minecraft mod I ever made. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of just like vibe coded the entire thing. Like, I know Java already, but Minecraft's setup and structure is just so confusing and strange to me. Like, for example, if I want to make a new block, my instinct as a developer, if I was making a new game, is to have a directory for blocks and a folder of the block name and all of the data inside, including textures and sounds, JSONs, everything, all the data for the block is just inside that block's folder. But no, Minecraft modding in 1.21.10, you have to make a block stage JSON file, then a block JSON file, then make an item JSON in the item directory, because a block has to be both a block and an item, then go to a separate textures folder and make a block folder to add your block texture. Everything is just so spread out and it makes no goddamn sense to me whatsoever, but we're gonna figure it out. So what is my concept for this mod gonna be? If you don't know me, I love this shitty ass Roblox game called Rogue Lineage. I made a whole video essay about it and everything, just like glazing it. Essentially, it has a permadeath mechanic and some other cool features, and I thought adapting some of the game mechanics from Rogue to make a unique hardcore experience would make for a really interesting SMP. So my goals is to make a life system like Rogue Lineage, where you start with 3 lives, and if you hit 0, then you're permanently booted into spectator mode. But you can get a life back. There is a random chance of finding a phoenix down near you. Consuming a phoenix down gives you life back, but you can't go above 3 lives, so you could stock up on PVs or trade them with other people who desperately need a life, and I mean, average Minecraft player, right? Coding this was a lot more tedious than you might think. Lives have to be stored and managed per player by the server, that way they would be persistent. So I have to make a network handler to be in charge of sending packets between your client and the server to update the UI to display your current lives. It was kind of just a complete pain, and I even spent way too long just figuring out how to get the textures working, but eventually I did get it. This part alone took me like 6 hours to make this live system, but I was starting to understand the structure of how Minecraft mods work. So my productivity only went up from here. The next thing I wanted to add was a danger system. Rogue Lineage has this system where taking damage puts you in danger, and it takes about 15 seconds of not taking any damage for you to get out of danger. So what does that actually do though? Well, if you leave the game while you're in danger, rejoining will cause you to lose a life, punishing you for leaving mid-combat. This is called a combat log. So I wanted to add a similar feature so that if someone is trying to PvP you, you can't just leave the game to avoid it. Coding the Phoenix Downs taught me a lot, so I learned how to make UI and send things from the server to the client, so coding this was a lot faster. All I had to do was make a new UI to display whenever you're in danger, attach it to an event wherever you take damage, trigger the countdown and update it on the client, then if you leave the game while this is active, the server will mark you as combat logged and automatically kill you next time you rejoin. I got this working in like less than an hour or two, so my productivity was like skyrocketing from here, so I was starting to feel like a real Minecraft modder. There's still one issue though, and it's one that Rogue had too. If you want to fight somebody, they can just log out before they even hit you for the first time. They could just leave as soon as they see you approaching them since they're not in danger yet. To solve this, Rogue has a glorious item called the pebble. This thing is single-handedly responsible for so much PTSD. What it does is, using the item makes an instant hit scan that puts a player you click on in danger, and it has an absurdly long range. So essentially, you could use this to combat tag someone from really far away, then pull up to them and slime them out. I knew I had to add this item to my mod to simulate the true Rogue experience. So I hopped into Sprite, drew a fancy looking pebble, and used what I had learned to make a new item in the mod and assign my texture. Then all I had to do was code the hit scan ability to do like a 0.025 damage in order to combat tag your target. This was extremely simple compared to everything else I had done so far, so I got this one done extremely fast. The last thing I had to code was obtaining Phoenix Downs. Originally, I wanted to make an entity with like a really low spawn rate that would guaranteed drop a PD, but I could not for the life of me figure out how to make custom entities. So I just made a script that has a chance to randomly spawn a PD near a player every so often. It literally just pops out an item on the floor. I tried to make them pretty rare, so hopefully they're balanced, but I have no way of really knowing until we actually see it in the server. But I did make it like a very rare occurrence, so generally people should be losing lives and like wiping their character and stuff. But that's basically everything that I added. I wanted to have the Origins mod to simulate fantasy races like Rogue Lineage, but I couldn't find a version for Fabric 1.21.10. So this is basically the only game-changing mod for the server. I mean, we have proximity voice chat, but this is really the only main mod, is just the Lineage Craft mod that I made. I'm hoping that this mod will create interesting scenarios and storylines for the server, so we'll see. And if anyone wants to join the server that is active and has a mic, because we're going to be using proximity voice chat, feel free to join my Discord, shoot me a DM. The SMP is going to officially start this Saturday, the 8th of November 2025 at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. I'll be making a series of the SMP, so if you're interested, look forward to that. But that's essentially everything I really have to go over for this short little devlog video, so thanks for watching, and leave a like, subscribe, you know the deal.